Hello. Hey guys, we're live. Howdy from Dallas. What's up, Dave? How you doing, buddy? Well, I hope everyone had a spectacular weekend full of fun and/or excitement. Yeah, that would be good. Fernando had an exhilarating weekend cleaning underneath his refrigerator and stove.
Already awesome, dude.
This is a big moment in his life. Brian from Orlando, what's up?
Yeah.
He's been freaking out that he hasn't been able to clean under his refrigerator and stove, so big excitement. Lots of fun there. I feel bad that I went to Disney. I could have stayed at home and partaked in that action, that fun, that joy that it brought you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Lots of fun there. What's up? Checking in from Cincinnati, Ohio. What's up? Hey, Fernando just joined. How you doing, buddy?
Cool.
All right, so keep checking in, letting us know where you're from. Say hi and all that other funness.
Yeah.
Central MS. Billy Reed, what's up? Steve, hi guys. Okay, so thanks to one of you viewers out there letting us know, because hey, there you go. There's a one for you.
Yeah.
Letting us know that the. Okay, let me start over.
¿Qué tal, Alexis?
What's up, Jason?
Jason.
Froze house in the house, running back up. All right, so Kenwood posted an update back in October for model numbers DNX 994-874S, both ending in S. That's both the new navigation systems as well as the other 7-inch, which is the DDX 9904S. 9704S, 9717 BTS, 7704S, 7017 DABS, 7017 BTS. Those have been updated. So if you have one of those radios and you'd like to do the update, check it out. Now, on our Saturday YouTube live show, we mentioned that there was an update that for Pioneers, and for the life of me, I was totally zoning out. It is for the new AVH and EX radios. However, that update is not out yet. So it's coming, supposedly. So more we know, the more you know.
All right.
What's going on, Irwin? Upstate New York. Who did I miss? I saw, is that Sweden?
Jericho from California.
Yeah. What was the flag?
Tyson from Columbia, Canada.
Perfect.
Yes.
There you go.
Christian.
What's up, Christian?
Nicholas from Trinidad and Tobago.
There we go. That's what it was. Sorry, it went by really fast.
Edwin.
So.
What's going on?
Your opinion on the DC 1330C speakers high from Ecuador. What are the DC 1330Cs?
1330.
I wonder if that's the new ones. That might be the new ones. Honestly, I don't know. Or is it the loudspeakers?
1330s. Let me see. Give me 1 second.
Hold on, I
just have to check.
Just look it up. I don't know, in my opinion. What kind of 6.5 speakers that is good for a 2003? And it just, what's up from Chicago?
This is the TS Pro
9605. All right. Booyah! What's up, Ryan? Going to do my 2017 86 based off your BRZ video. Go for it. All right, what was the model number on those? That's cool. Yes, that was a great video and a cool car.
The model number DC.
Yeah, DC.
1330C.
1330. C. Go.
Fidel, what's going on from Chicago? Raphael, hey guys, what do you think about the new Kicker KX amps?
I think
what are you gonna do the dyno on the 9605?
9605 is an
the amplifier.
We don't have the technology. We don't have an amp dyno to do that, so we really can't do an amp dyno on the amplifiers. We really can only do the
radios.
The radios. It's one of those things I kick myself that I didn't buy the amp dyno when it was reasonably priced, and by that I mean $2,500. Oh yeah, look at those. Those look like the new TSDs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
missing?
Yeah, it's just those.
It's like the T series, the new T series.
It's a new. Yeah. Okay, so the DC 1330Cs look like the new TSDs. Yeah, they're all right. I gotta be honest with you, I like the older version better. Yes, old school. There he is. Let's do. Yes, that's what we were talking about. I want to do 5 channels. So
yeah, that is exactly.
We'll get together on that, Derek, and I gotta figure out. I gotta get some stuff in the mail to you so that we can do 5-channel amps on old school car stereo.
All right, Jesse J Marquez say, what's better, 215s, Kicker L7s, or all audio W7S? I'm guessing the JL.
JL Audio 1. How many? 215.
215 Kickers L7s.
Or the JL Audio equivalent?
JL Audio, yeah.
Ooh, damn. So I don't even think JL makes a 15.
No, they made the 13.
Be a 13.
Yes.
Wow, that would be tough.
That would be tough, man.
I would honestly, I would think the 13s, the JLs would win.
Yeah.
I think the JLs might win that.
213s.
213s, I think those might win.
Yeah. All right, going to do my 2017 Toyota 86.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right.
13.5s, yeah. I want to say that I bet you the JLs would win. Yeah, I think because that W7 is a mean ass woofer, so and it's huge. I think they would win.
All right.
For sure. Yeah.
What's up, Johnny?
What's up, Ryan? Like the new logo.
Donald say, when are you going to make your own brand speakers?
Paul's already done that. Him and his brother started American Bass.
Yeah.
And he left. He parted ways with his brother to go off and start an independent, to go back to the retail side of things. And his brother Bob still runs American Bass. So that's definitely something Paul could do, but I really don't think he's into. I don't think he wants to go down that road anymore. No. As far as me doing it, between this, and the family, I have this much time to do something cool like that. So, I wish I could. I would love to, because that's the thing that, speakers are definitely why we all do this. Which brings us to another interesting point, since we mentioned, no it doesn't, bad segue. Patreon, if you guys are interested in supporting us, you can do it at 5-Star Car Stereo on Patreon. If you support us at the end of this video on the YouTube channel that comes up every Tuesday morning, I don't know what all this is, but your name will be on there. Thanking you very much for supporting the show. If you find that you want to get some cool tools for your installation, and if I add text to this, more than likely I will spell it wrong, because for some reason at 2 in the morning I can never get DNFToolDrawer.com. That's Dean and Fernando's Tool Drawer, where you can find all your installation tool needs. And these are our shameless plugs, and that's what helps us pay to do this show.
Yeah.
So, thanks you guys for supporting us in any way you can. Just watching the show is support. Sitting through those crappy ads is even more exciting.
Yeah.
Whopping 2 cents.
Thank
Love
you.
the 2 pennies. So, thank you for all that, guys. Anyways, back to the...
Eliud from Houston, Texas. Say Eliud.
Okay.
Yeah, from Houston, Texas. Say hi.
Jesse says thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Damien. Sup, homies?
Yeah.
Keep going. Ask your question.
All right.
I'm just doing the what's up.
Billy.
Yes.
Say, will an 8-gauge wire will big enough to power an Alpine MRP M500?
Yes.
And the MRP F300?
No. 8-gauge.
Also, will you go with the Type S or front components, rear coaxials, with the F300 amp?
Okay, so a lot of questions there. First off, 8-gauge is not enough. 1 8-gauge is not enough. 2 8-gauge, 1 for each amplifier, or 1 4-gauge would be ideal for both those amplifiers. Type S speakers, gotta be honest with you, not a fan. Type R speakers, it's worth the extra money to go up to them. The power difference, it's okay. It'll still sound 100% better than the Type S. What's up, Butch? Is that it?
Yeah.
Did I cover it?
Yeah.
Components up front, coaxials in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Definitely.
If you can do that, do it. Understandably, you don't always have room to mount that tweeter, so I'm not a big fan of cutting holes unless you're up for cutting holes, so because you only get one shot at cutting a hole. So make sure you do measure 4 times, cut once. But if you have components up front, always do components.
Yeah. Ryan Lynch, what's up?
Alex from Union City.
There
What's
you go. Damien? Oh, you say what's up, homies? Yeah.
up? Exactly right.
Pioneer 9605. What size subwoofer will work best? And what are your...
So the 9605 is like 400 watts, 350 to 400 watts. 350 to 400 watts a sub. We've done a couple different things on those. Paul's most popular application for that is a set of 2 12-inch kicker comp Cs in the factory box. He loves to do that on that amplifier. We also will do just a single 12, like a comp R. When we're doing that amp in pickup trucks, we'll typically run like 2 comp RTs. And I know I'm just mentioning kicker subs. You can use like regardless of that, 2 small power handling 12s in a ported box works good. Otherwise, 2 10s of a little higher grade will work, or 1 really nice 12. Okay.
Danny Torres from San Diego.
Andy from Atlanta. What else you got?
There you go. All right, I have one. Donald.
Yes.
Say, have you guys used the SMD distortion detector on any of the Steve Mead products?
What? Have you guys used the SMD distortion detector?
Or any of the Steve Mead products? Yes.
Yeah, we have them all. We actually have a playlist on YouTube that is the DD1 radio dyno video. So we have the DD1, we have this crossover calibrator, we have the AD1 amp dyno, or the handheld dyno guy there. There was 4 of them. We have 4 of them.
Yeah.
I can never remember. We have 4 of the units. It's yeah. So
Hello
crossover
from
caliber, DD1.
Yeah.
What are the other 2?
Andy from Atlanta. What's
One is
going
that
on,
cool
buddy?
one that is the dyno that you can do handheld, AMD1 or something like that.
Number, but we have
And what's the 4th one? Tone generator. They have the tone generator. Okay, sorry. All right.
All right. Billy say I meant the 4 gauge.
Yes,
Okay.
1 4 gauge would be plenty.
Yeah.
4 gauge distribution block for those work fine. Yeah. Make sure you get now. Not all 4 gauge is created equal, so make sure you get a good 4 gauge. Make sure it's 100% copper. None of that CCA stuff for what you're trying to do. Yes, thank you, Derek. Old school. Thank you. Yeah, see, look, you got them all.
There you go, man.
Those are the model numbers.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yes.
John say, hey, from Australia, my grandma can't do frogs either.
Dude, I knew I was going to get some hate for the frog thing, but oh my God. And dude, in high school I had to dissect frogs, and that was like the worst thing ever because, as a high school, what do you want to do? You want to hang out with the girls. So you go sit at the table with the girls, hey baby, what's up? Hey, we're going to dissect frogs today. You got to be kidding me. You got to be Hey, I'm macho. Yeah, I'm so cool.
I can do frogs. I can do roaches.
Well, and I get picked on it relentlessly from Sue and Haley, but guess who's got to get the frog out of the house when the frog comes out of the house?
You need to.
I have to catch the frog. And I'm going to have nightmares for a week about this frog, 60-foot frog attacking me and eating me with this giant mouth, and wake up in cold sweats. And
probably
they're
the frog is more scared of you than...
Oh, whatever. I don't care. Dude. Those things are disgusting. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Hello from Sweden, Alexander.
Hey, there we go. Sweden in the house. Yes, was waiting for that.
You guys to take the audio from your Monday show and turn it into the podcast.
Oh, no, a podcast?
Yes.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I've actually been toying with that idea. But when I say toying with it, it's so far on the back burner, it's probably not even the pilot light.
No. All right, Edwin, say, can I use the Metra 1761 to replace the BRC amp? BRC amp?
BRZ amp.
Yes, and I use the PDX V9 to power the front on one channel and the other 2 to power the subs while clipping while keeping the stock K unit.
Is he asking, can he do that, or is that what
Can
he
he
did?
do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the 1761 harness is going to work. I mean, if we use that in the video, then obviously that will work. The PDX V9, yeah, that everything you said sounds good.
Yeah.
The only thing you may want to do is add some form of a better line level input-output, something like an LC audio control product. At the minimum, I would do the LOC from PAC, which is the LP7.4.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everything you said sounds good. I mean, yeah. So he was talking about bridging the front two channels to the left and right.
Yeah, front, yeah, and use the other one for the sub.
You know, you don't necessarily need to bridge the front. You might want to think about doing a biamp system where you use channel 1 and 2 to power the tweeters and channels 3 and 4 to power the mid-range. That is also an option to think about. We just actually did that in a F-150 we talked about last week. Or, no, we might not have talked about that last week. We just got done doing an F-150, PDX V9, some of the Alpine Z series. Oh, we talked about it on the YouTube show, Saturday show. So, yeah, that was that's what we did in that. Instead of just bridging the front two channels to the big set of speakers, we actually went biamp. So that's an option to think about, too.
All right, Alan, say, what does the new Pioneer DHX8800 VHS say check USB randomly as an error reading a message from USB?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I was reading old schools. He was asking about a Sony.
All right.
Okay.
So the 8800 VHS say check USB.
Yes.
Randomly.
Okay.
As an error reading a message from USB.
Yes. So on your 8800, first thing I would do is check to make sure there's not a firmware update to that. Pioneer constantly pushes out firmwares for those, and it's usually to fix something to do with the USB. That's kind of how they roll. For some reason, they have a really hard time getting that USB right from the get-go. So that would be where I'd start first. Secondly, make sure you have a really good USB, like a SanDisk or something like that. The other thing is, if the USB, when you slid the radio into the dash, if the USB was really tight, pushed up against something, sometimes we've seen where it'll actually start to bend and break the USB. Those are really, off the top of my head, the only thing I can think of.
All right, Kevin A. Ray say the geologist.
Yeah, the geologist.
Yes,
yeah.
Made it, but just for a few minutes.
What's up, Kevin? Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Thank you for watching. I say, Thomas, last week I asked you about the 9904S versus the ILX207.
Yes.
I was still on the fence, but Best Buy made it easy. With the open box and brand new unit with Series for $525.
Ooh, dang, good deal.
Having it put in a local shop November 2nd.
You know, at the end of the day, price really does matter if you're looking at two products. I mean, okay, if you're looking at two specific products and one of it's like you're on the fence and then one of them just drops their pants in front of you, you almost have to go with that one regardless of because it's like, you know, how many times we have guys come in here and say, I got this awesome deal on this car, I had to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, if it's the what you're looking for and someone gives you a great deal, you almost have to buy it. Okay, so if you don't know how to update the firmware, first off, when you go to Pioneer's website and check, they'll give you, you can print off a whole tutorial. It's really not that hard. Don't freak out about it. So it's fairly simple to do. I know we have plenty on the double DIN radios. I don't know if we have one on single DINs as far as how to update the firmware, but it's not that hard. So yeah, definitely just go to their site and you can print out the instructions, and it's literally step 1, step 2, step 3 done.
All right, Danny Torres say, hey guys, my buddy had me thinking of this. He has some home theater 120 watts powered home sub.
Yeah.
He want to install it in the car with a 425 power inverter.
Yeah.
12 volts to 120.
Yeah.
Would you recommend to hook that up?
No.
Using the cigarette lighter and using a pair of RCAs from the radio sub output?
No.
All right.
No. None of that's going to work. You got to remember your home subwoofer is actually running off of DC internally. It has an AC to DC converter built into it to do that. So now and you also have an unlimited power coming into the wall. This little power inverter is not going to power up. I mean, even if it's a crappy amplified subwoofer, the whole idea is just bad. That's not what you want to do by any. No. I mean, go crazy and try it if you want, but I mean, aftermarket amplifiers have big power wires going to them.
Yeah.
A cigarette lighter is not going to, a little 18 gauge cigarette wire is not going to be enough to power that. I mean, the whole idea is just, don't get me wrong, we've seen people do it, but no. Tell your buddy, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. Okay, so...
Tony from UK. What's up, Tony?
Hey, what's up, Tony? Good evening, buddy.
Kirsten. What's up? Hope he's okay.
Frogs are nasty.
Frogs are nasty.
So one of Billy said, I watched one of my co-workers screaming like a little girl when the frog jumped last week.
Okay, so in that video you mentioned me say I touched the bat, and that was like a little clip. It says I touched the bat. We had a fruit bat on a guy's backpack in the front seat of his car, and I was leaning in there in the dash, and I felt this little fuzzy thing on my arm, and I was like, just working, I was like, that feels weird. And I kind of pulled my arm back, and there's a little fruit bat just sitting there looking at me like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? And then he starts squealing at me, real high-pitched, as bats would do. And I'm sure we were carrying on some form of conversation I was unaware of. And of course, I tell Fernando, oh, how cute, there's a bat in the car. I've never seen this guy jump so far. He jumps out of the car. He was jumped. What?
No.
And then, of course, I had to pick up the backpack and take it outside and put him into a palm tree and screamed at me the whole time. It was quite amusing, but...
Hey, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Raphael say, will you guys have a YouTube video on the Chevy Cruze and or the Camaro? We have...
Camaro we have.
Yes.
The Cruze
it's
we
coming.
don't. No, we didn't. That's in the install diaries.
Okay, that's in the install.
Because the Cruze we had to do. All right, so the Cruze we didn't film a full how to replace your radio on because the option was to use the Metra harness or the pack harness, and we had both, and the customer opted for the pack harness and to lose the entertainment cluster or the little screen for whatever reason. I don't remember why he decided to do that. Maybe it was cheaper. I don't remember. But that's why we didn't film it, because we like to film those and have them be a start to finish solution that would, so we don't get tons of questions on, hey, why? So it just is going to get thrown in the install diaries in a little bit. But we do have the Camaro install with the pack kit. Not the Metra kit or the Scotia kit, but just the pack kit because we like that kit.
All right. Old School Car Stereo.
Pasco, checking in.
Did you read that?
Okay, so Derek, Old School Car Stereo, is asking about the Sony, which we don't have up here anymore because we've switched it out for the Alpines.
Yes.
Yes, if you want a volume knob, you're going to like it, but if you're coming from a Kenwood... So the question is, should I get the Sony... CarPlay radio? His Kenwood has since died, and he wants the volume knob because he is old school. My answer to that would be, don't go with the Sony, go with the Kenwood, because the Kenwood offers a heck of a lot more of adjustments. Now, if you're going to some form of an EQ or processor or crossover or something in the trunk with dials, then yes, the Sony would be a good idea. But I would still look at the what is it, 6904? Kenwood. The 6903 last year had a volume knob, didn't it? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But, I mean, if you got to have the knob, the Sony's definitely the way to go. Otherwise, I would still look at the Kenwood 6904. I think that's a much nicer unit. Way more options. Not to take anything away from the Sony. The Sony's a nice piece, but the Kenwood has a lot more features. Time correction, bigger EQ, actually... source tone adjust, meaning you can adjust the EQ for whatever source you're on. So you have an EQ for FM, you have an EQ for Bluetooth, you have an EQ for USB. You can combine them all into one if you want, but I just feel it has a lot more adjustments for sound quality if that is a priority, and then usually is. If you're looking for ease of use, The Sony's definitely the easier one to use. You just turn it on, turn the dial, and hey, I'm happy. And it does sound good. They both sound good.
Bye, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with sound quality.
Yeah. All right. Scotty say, what's good 6.5 speaker brand?
A good 6.5 speaker brand?
Yeah.
Well, that really depends on how much you're willing to spend. I mean, you know, there's I mean, in the case in front of us, there's probably 10 speakers that are under $100. So it really just comes down to what type of music you're looking for. I mean, if you like loud in your face style, we always recommend the Punch or the Hertz. Hertz makes Dici, which is a reasonably priced 6.5 that will work great off of deck power. If you're going to amplify, you'd want something like a high energy. Focal has the Access, which is a really nice, or they have the Auditor, which is also an entry level, kind of like the Dici. Pioneer makes speakers, Kenwood makes speakers, JL makes speakers. Everyone makes a really nice speaker. So there's a lot to choose from, car, things like that. So.
All right, Laura say, hi guys. Is there any difference between the Kenwood KAC 8005, the Marine amplifier, and the new Exelon X8105 5-channel?
No.
Besides from the conformal coating.
That's it. Actually, they're on the wall right up here.
Okay. The question is, she lives in Arizona, and the car interior get up to 130 degrees.
Awesome.
In summer, cool. She can find nothing like specifics on the website.
Oh, as far as if it'll work in the heat like that? I mean, realistically, it should do fine in the heat. The conformal coating is made to work in a boat. They're both the same amplifier. All they literally do is, like you said, is they conformal coat it, make it silver. They give you stickers for the end cap. It doesn't get to be 130 here, but we do get tons of humidity, which is water in the air. We don't have any problems with those amplifiers, and we put them in some really crappy spots. And by crappy, I mean we bury them in trunks and under seats and under floorboard. We put them everywhere. It's one of our #1 selling amplifiers. I would strongly recommend the amplifier. I don't think you'll have any issues with it for sure.
All right. Johan, say, what's your recommendation on a good Apple CarPlay non-JBL system on the Tundra?
The Tundra? Well, you know, the two most popular radios on the market today by far are Pioneer and Kenwood. Hands down. You know, Kenwood has the 9904S, which is their flagship CarPlay radio, CarPlay Android Auto radio, which is really, really nice radio. Pioneer had their flagship, which the 4201. These are non-navigation. The 4201 was a really nice piece. They just came out with the 2330, which is the really nice piece as well. And they both make non-CD players. Kenwood makes the 7704. Pioneer makes the 2330, MVH 2330. Both of those groups of radios are really exceptional radios. The one thing that makes the 9904 better than all of them is the screen, in that it has a capacitive touchscreen as opposed to what they call clear resistive. And just to give you a reference point of what that is, the capacitive touch is the same thing that your phone is made out of. That's what allows you to do this and touch it anywhere you want, whereas a clear resistive is a conventional XY point, touch here type screen, which means you don't always get to do this type of movement. Kenwood also makes the 9704, which doesn't have that screen, which is more compatible with like a 4201. But with all that being said, the best thing to do is to go to a store somewhere, Best Buy or a local retailer that has one on display. What was that?
I have no idea. And
touch it. Because the menu systems on the two of them are totally different, and you want to make sure that it works. You know, I like to think of it as Android and iPhone. People that have Android phones love them. People that have iPhones love them. And the reason why is because they get it. And it isn't true the opposite way. So.
All right, Kelly. Say, my Pioneer AVH 4200 NEX keeps powering it off. Any ideas? By the way, never updated the firmware update. I don't know how.
What radio is it?
4200.
Oh, 42. You got to do the firmware update, man. We have a video on how to update the firmware. Just go to our Pioneer playlist in Pioneer NEX 2016 playlist, and we walk you through how to do the firmware update. These things are really not that hard. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do it, and that's really just sitting there doing this.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out why that keeps beeping.
All right. A new Pioneer Double Dean. I do the bypass and doesn't work. Jesus, I don't know what kind of radio you have.
I'm assuming if you did the bypass, it's probably Pioneer.
Yeah. All right, Andy, do you guys recommend installing speaker baffles?
No. Speaker baffles are good, but fast rings are better. You don't really want to baffle or restrict the airflow of the speaker. Originally, the speaker baffles, the idea behind it was to keep moisture and water and all that crap out of it. Then someone got the brilliant idea to think that it was a small enclosure. All these little speakers are free air infinite baffle drivers that just need more air than that little crappy baffle is going to provide. Now you can use them as a vapor barrier if you cut the bottom out of them so that they can breathe down.
Yeah.
But the fast ring put in properly with its front and rear acoustical foam is a way better option. All right, ask your next question.
Yeah. All right, Dan, what's going on, buddy, from Pasco? Let's see.
Go ahead, keep asking.
All right, so Matt.
Jason said you can use telepathy on a Kenwood. That means he's used way too many Kenwoods.
It doesn't work, no. Never mind. All right, this is cool. Look at this. Matt Wood.
Matt Wood.
Hey, guys, from the Aussie.
From Australia.
Yeah. Having tuna as a usual. Great show.
One question.
Yeah.
What's the question? I currently have a base model double DIN Pioneer head unit running, a couple of subs and front stage, but want to upgrade to a digital radio and Android connectivity. I love my current unit and was wondering if there's anything other than Pioneer out there. Okay, here's the thing, and we just pretty much covered that. You know, if it's a known fact that I'm an Apple guy. I'm a fanboy, whatever, drink the Kool-Aid, call it whatever you want, okay? We know that. And the reason why is because this makes sense to me. For whatever fault that means or whatever crazy comments you can come up with, it doesn't matter if yours is better or what. This makes sense to me. I'm entrenched in the Apple. I have the laptops. I have the TV thing. I have the cool little watch thingy here, the ceramic. It's awesome. Anyways, Pioneer and Kenwood, Alpine, they all have similar followings in that, like Jason just said, you know, you can use telepathy on the Kenwood. That means he's really attuned into the Kenwood. Yeah. We have both here. We have Alpine, Kenwood, and Pioneer. Therefore, we have to use telepathy, as he would say, on all of them. And I know he has similar brands, too. So it just makes sense to, like, certain things make sense. So, like Pioneer, if their operating system has changed in color but the button locations are pretty much all the same. So if you've had a Pioneer for the past 10 years, you can literally walk into any Pioneer and be like, bam, 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 bam. Just like if you had a Kenwood for the last 10 years, it's a very similar experience. So I always tell people, if you're used to using this type of radio, stick with that type of radio. Only because a lot of the times when you switch or jump ship, just like when you have those guys that say, I'm tired of this phone, I'm buying an Android. They always either switch back or it doesn't work out for them. Sometimes it does, a lot of times it doesn't. So Pioneer makes great radios, Kenwood makes great radios. Literally, they almost do the same thing. It's just making sense of where they're at. Sound quality-wise, they both sound really good. Mm-hmm. So I would say check out a new Pioneer, like a 2330. Allows you to do Android Auto, 6-channel 4-volt preamp output. If you want the flagship but a little dated, check out the 4201.
All right, EXO and Hi-Fi Vega are in the house.
Oh, EXO's in?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, let's see. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. And Hi-Fi Vega. What's up? Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. Let's see. Any new amp for a Pioneer in the future?
God, I hope so, but probably not.
No.
You know, Pioneer's a funny company because we begged them to come out and literally begged them every time Eddie would come in here, who has since moved on and isn't with Pioneer anymore. So, and
can we have a 5-channel?
One day we'll get to what he's doing, but
No.
I don't think that's safe for YouTube. Oh, Haley just joined. What's up, Haley?
Hi, Haley.
Pioneer is really slow to change. So I mean, who knows? I mean, we had to beg for this 5-channel, beg, and they always ask, well, how many of them are you going to sell? How many of them are you going to sell? It's like, doesn't matter. We're asking for it. If everyone is asking for it, just give us the damn amplifier. So I don't know. I wish they would, because there's certain things about the current amplifiers, like the way the terminals come down at an angle, that just irritates the crap out of me. So yeah, but right now Pioneer is keeping everything very, very quiet. Like, we can't get anything out of them. Ooh, which reminds me. I was going to talk about this next week on the news show, but I will tease it now. Pioneer actually just announced 2 new radios.
Yeah.
They have, okay, so for you guys that are into what we'll call the cost-conscious radios, that is a Pioneer, it was a 280 and a 180, now it's a 190 and a 290. That's their entry-level, cost-conscious touchscreens. Those are going to be replaced here very shortly. We don't know why they told us, but they told everyone, so it wasn't like we're in on the secret. They told every Pioneer dealer. But there's 2 new units coming out to replace those, and they're going to be really, really nice, because a lot of the things that sucked about those radios are going to be updated in these radios, and that's as much as the tease I'm going to give you on those. We'll talk about them more next week when we do the news show. We'll have pictures and all that neat stuff up here on the TV. But they're coming. For cheap radios.
Sean say, I just got a used AVH 2800. How do you use the reset?
Really?
Yeah.
It has to be, okay, in order to restore the radio, it's restore, not reset, you have to make sure that the bypass is hooked up. Here we can do this from memory. When the radio powers up, go to, what is it?
Yeah.
What is this? Tools?
Settings.
Settings, which is the gear.
Yeah.
Go Tools. Scroll down to where it says Restore Settings. Yeah. If the bypass is on and you're just powering up the radio, it'll blink on, blink off, blink on. If you did the bypass, otherwise turn it on and off with the switch. Once it's lit up white, hit it. It'll go ahead and restore, and that will bring you back to this.
All right, Tommy say, I'm still want a shirt signed up by you guys.
Me too.
That would be awesome. Definitely. Let's see. Scotty, I just bought a Pioneer AVH 7800 BT.
Yeah.
Head unit for $299.99.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that a good deal?
Yes.
Well, I'm thinking about going with the 6.5 Rockford Fosgate speakers on my 2003 Dodge Durango.
Yeah, you're going to find good deals on like the 78 and the 68, because those are making way for the 3300, which is the Apple CarPlay Android Auto version of it. So yeah, you're going to find some good deals on those for sure.
All right, Mario, what's going on, buddy? Danny say your name should be Aidin.
Yes. Well, actually, it's funny.
Yeah,
my email is I something. So, yeah.
Hello from
Redwood City. Cool. What's up, Corey?
What's up, Corey? John. Hey guys, my favorite Monday, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John.
Thank you, John. Love the stream. Thank you.
Love it too. It's so sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy streaming. Oh, on the upside, right now, we just found out that we do have crappy internet. Comes as a shock. And right now, hopefully, within the next 2 weeks, we'll have some really sexy internet. So,
all right, Christian.
Getting excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Woohoo!
Yeah, right.
Christian, how many square inches in a port per
Dude,
cube?
Really? Just email me. Email me every other question. Just email me that one.
There you go. Yeah.
Is that the right question? No, it's a different question.
That's a
Okay, different question. Sorry, Christian. Thought you were someone else. How many square inches of ports per cubic foot? I've always been told 16 square inches. Well, it depends on I mean, it depends. Like a 4-inch port, a 3-inch port, both have, which I used to be able to quote these numbers. I can't. So like when you're talking about this port on like a box like this, this opening width has to do with what?
John said that's a frog behind you.
Yeah. This width has to do with correlations to like a round port, like a 3.5 or a 4-inch port. Typically, the minimum I would always make a port, regardless, because you get some silly numbers like 3/4 of an inch, depending on how tall this is. So, like if this is a 12-inch opening, I would do minimum of 1 inch over. The 16 inches, like you're talking about, is probably is a wide port. So, yeah. If you want to know more about that, I have to dig up some of my notes because we used to do triangle ports and all that other fun stuff, and I used to be able to spit these numbers out, but thankfully I don't have to sniff sawdust anymore. We have someone to do that. Big Red.
All right.
Brightstar, car stereo, Brightstar, whatever, stereo.com.
Yeah, brightstar.com.
Brightstar.com.
Yeah. Sean.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, John. John say, had any experience with the Phoenix Go Elite line of amps?
Okay, so the Phoenix Go Elite line of amplifiers is...
What are you leaving?
It's going. They're going bye-bye. There's going to be a new 3 Series, which if you follow Studio In-Car from Europe on Instagram, they put up a picture of one last week.
They sexy. The amp is
really
good.
Nice looking. Yeah. I think it's, what is it, TI-3 is what it's called? Something like that. Anyways, yeah, those are going to wait. Now, tomorrow we have, either tomorrow or what's Wednesday, we have the new Phoenix Gold 6-channel coming in.
Cool. Because
I ordered that to bring in because I want to check it out. That looks really nice. So, yeah, we are a Phoenix Gold dealer. I wasn't real thrilled with the current amp lineup, so that is changing. So I'm starting to have Paul bring in more of those products for us to check out. And naturally, the 6-channel is our number. 5-channel amplifiers are our big sellers. So, we'll be doing more with that once we start to see them come in.
All right, Thomas say you mentioned Andreato Wireless at Google event.
Yes.
From Pioneer.
Yes.
I couldn't find anything on that.
And you never will.
Is that probably going to be at CES 2017?
Okay, so here's the feeling I'm getting from Pioneer when I talked to our guy last week who doesn't want me to ever mention who we talked to.
Well, that's a Pioneer guy.
To protect his job and all that other fun stuff. And he's by no means involved in any of the stuff that would be beneficial to us knowing him. But his thought is that he's not real sure what they're going to do as far as the NEX current lineup goes. Pioneer made that piece, I think, because Google gave them the stuff to do it. Mm-hmm. In the next 2 years, really what you're going to see evolve is that Android and Apple are both going to be wireless. I feel that the price points for the wired version of it are going to just continue to fall the way they have, and that the wireless version of it will be considered the premium.
Okay.
So, like when you look at like a 4200 as opposed to a 2300, I think that's what you're going to see. Is you're going to see that 2300 price point continue to stay low, and then you're going to see like a 4200 style replacement that's going to be wireless. If that's going to happen next year, he's not thinking it is. I think he's thinking, not me, I'm hoping that they're coming out next year, but he's thinking we're still, 2019 is going to be when we're going to start to see that stuff come out. So I wouldn't hold my breath for this year. But you never know.
All right. Raphael say the audio control LC7i or the LCQ1.
Oh.
Which one you recommend?
Okay, so LC7i, if you need to do any form of summing, meaning, hold on, let's wait for the fire truck to go by. If you have like a tweeter, a mid-range, you need to sum those together and then have like a rear. For summing, you always want the LC7i because the LC7i, that's what it does. It's a summing module. If you don't need to do any subbing, like you just have a radio that has front and rear standard outputs, and you're just going to put a high-level to low-level adapter in there and then create the sub-channel, you want the LCQ1, because the LCQ1 will allow you to fix the audio that sucks coming out of the radio. Now, secret to the LCQ1, if you've ever watched us set one up on the video, I think we might have one or two of them up now. I think just one right now on the F-150. Literally, microscopic adjustments. It's not a lot. You don't have to go crazy. They are LCQ1 is harder to set up. There's no question about it because it is an EQ, and it is not like a dash-mounted EQ. You can just go crazy on it because you're not dealing with what a dash-mounted EQ would do, which is start from a flat signal. You're starting with a crappy signal, and that's what the LCQ1 is designed to fix. Now, you can play like a pink noise and have like a phone RTA and kind of work it to get it to where you need it to be. It's just going to take a lot of time, but in the end, when you're all done, the LCQ1 will definitely sound better than just the LC7i. It's just harder to set up. If you want something that's way easier to set up than an LCQ1, get the, what the hell is it called?
What?
The DM608. The DM608 takes the problem with the LCQ1, which is the inability to have RTAs. They build the RTAs into the unit, so you can actually see my signal coming in, my signal going out, and you can compare the two. Not only that, it has an auto feature, so if you're like totally oblivious to this whole EQ thing, you can literally select auto, and it'll try to flatten out the signal for you, to which then you can try to go back and tweak it a little bit here or there, or just use the bass, mid, and treble adjustments on the radio. So it's like $150 more, I think, than an LCQ1. Totally worth the money. Totally.
All right, Frank, I was thinking to get in a bandpass box against a regular box.
Yeah. Okay.
What are your thoughts? I have 212s.
So bandpass boxes are typically a lot bigger than a standard ported box. So for example, when we built bandpass boxes in the 90s with our Orion XTRs, because Orions just love bandpass boxes, back then the woofers had smaller surrounds.
Yeah.
Unlike now where you have these 1.5-inch surrounds, bandpass boxes typically like woofers that don't move a whole heck of a lot, so they like that thinner 1.125-inch surround. We would build 210 bandpasses to try to get our 10-inch woofers to sound like 12-inch woofers, which it took us years to figure out the futility in all this, because we just burn up woofers in a bandpass box because people be driving these small magnet structures to crazy. Now, you can put two 12s in a bandpass box if you have the room for the bandpass box, and get those two 12-inch woofers to bang like 15s. There's no question about it. They will sound amazing. The thing you have to keep in mind, though, is A, how big is the surround on your subwoofer, and B, how big does that box actually have to be? It's got to be huge. So
there you go.
That's the thing.
All right. So for Christian,
one other thing.
Yeah.
A bandpass box also has a much more limited frequency response, as opposed to, so if you look at like a sealed box frequency response, ported box frequency response, bandpass frequency response. So as long as it's playing in the little frequencies that you like, it's great. As soon as you go outside of those frequencies, it sounds terrible.
All right, for Christian, actually, Dustin, he posts.
Dustin
Wynn. He posts like a website so you can go and figure it out about the port, the inches, and all that stuff.
Thank you, Dustin. That was very nice of you.
All right. What's your opinion on staying with the manufactured Bose system or changing it out to an aftermarket?
So with that, I'll answer this with a story, as if I could possibly not think of a story to tell. So Haley and I went to a mall here called International Mall. It's where all the Apple store is. And at this mall, they have a Bose store. And of course, we walk into the Bose store for whatever reason, because I believe the Vera Bradley store is right across from it, and Sue, my wife, was hanging out in the Vera Bradley store. So Haley and I walk over to the Bose store, and they had their brand new summer blockbuster preview, and the guy's like, "Yo, can I play this for you?" And of course, Haley and I smile at each other, knowing what I do for a living, and she's listened to this her whole life. Sure, she says. So I'm like looking at her like, why are you doing this to me? Anyways, we sit and we listen to this cool Bose experience. Now, this is a Bose store, so this Bose was set up. They measured everything. This thing was rocking, man. And it's just blasting, and the sound's coming from everywhere. And yeah, yay. Guys like, wasn't that great? And she's like, that was awesome. And I'm like looking at her like, okay. So we leave the Bose store. And she looks at me as we're going down the escalator. And she goes, Dad, can I ask you a question? I said, of course you can ask me a question. You can ask me anything you want. She goes, was that supposed to sound good? And I looked at her and I go, well, why do you ask? She goes, well, honestly, to me, that sounded terrible. And I said, that's why you're my daughter and I love you. Okay, so to get back to your question, not a fan. Not a fan. For the amount of money that you pay for that system, so do we always recommend replacing it? Yeah, we do. I know that's getting harder and harder to do in some of these cars that have 20 speaker systems. But if you have a mid-year car or couple-year-old car, yes, definitely change out the Bose stuff.
All right, what DSP are you prefer?
Right now, the DSP that we are playing with, as I just mentioned, the DM608, the DM810. The audio control DSP is right now the popular DSP of choice. Mainly the DM608 is real popular because of the price point and the feature set that it has. I'm still pushing more towards, as far as like what I recommend for people that want to get crazy on the, they want
James?
all the bells and whistles, is to check out that cool Phoenix Gold. You can download their app for it.
Yep.
It works on Windows, it works on Apple, it works on iPad.
What's up, Luis?
And I feel going forward that if you're not going to be compatible with those things, you're going to lose out. Audio control right now is still Windows only, and they keep telling me we're going to have our iPad version for it here. We're going to have it, and it hasn't come yet. But I'm hanging in there tough, hoping. Come on, Chris Bennett, get that piece out, man. What the heck? Get with the now.
All right,
so
Alvaro.
There you go.
Can you give me any good recommendation on a decent radio with Apple CarPlay? Something not too pricey, but what do you recommend?
So a decent radio with Apple CarPlay. I mean, there again, Apple CarPlay means you can go to a lower price radio because you only can. The 6.2 inch screens all work. Derek at Old School Car Stereo was asking about the Sony with the volume knob.
That was a good one.
It's a mildly priced, full function, sounds good. CarPlay radio, real easy to use. So the learning curve on it is next to nothing. You can put it in. Volume up, down, real easy to use for CarPlay. Another popular radio right now is the Pioneer AVH 1300 or 1330, there's two of them, NEX radio. Both of those will allow you to do CarPlay, and they have real competitive price points like the Sony. If you're a Kenwood fan, look at the 6904, like we said. But the first two are going to be the most reasonable out of the bunch, and also the nicest.
All right, Jesus, say, what can I do to stop...
No, they won't be the nicest. I don't know why I said that, but they're both nice.
What can I do to stop dimming lights? I have a new battery in the capacitor and still dimming.
Capacitor isn't going to help lights from dimming. Actually, if you put a capacitor in a system that has low battery voltage, it's actually going to make the situation worse. The idea behind the capacitor putting into the cars back in the 90s when we were all like, oh, we need to put caps in them, they were 24-volt caps. These caps they have nowadays are these little 16 and 18-volt caps. They suck. That's why they're only $29, whereas back in the 90s they were $120 capacitors.
Yeah. Way
different things. Now they're just spray paint cans with lights. The idea behind the capacitor when that first came out to help your lights from dimming was that it's not actually stopping your lights from dimming, it's slowing the lights down so you don't see the dim. So it's actually, instead of doing this to the base, it's doing this, which is a much slower, so you're not seeing this strobe light effect. Yeah. The only way to keep your lights from dimming at a stoplight is 1, turn it down, or 2, get a second battery that will allow you to have the reserve power you need when the car is not moving to play the system. Because you got to remember, most modern cars don't charge the system when they're sitting at a stoplight, or they put out the minimum amount of current necessary to keep the thing on.
All right, let's... So Brian, 2015 Kia Sorento with Infinity sound system. I love the sound, but it doesn't have Android Auto. Can I use Maestro system with the Pioneer stereo that has Android Auto and keep my Infinity amplifier?
And a Kia?
And the Kia Sorento, yes.
Right now, I'd have to check on that. I know they don't make a T-harness for Kia and Hyundai, so I don't think Maestro is what you want to look at. I think you might want to look at PAC or Access for a solution for that. You know, gauges are cool, but I know I'm looking at they have a Honda,
yeah,
but they aren't going to have anything for that car yet. You might be able to use that car in a generic wiring application where you just like buy a Hyundai plug and wire this thing in, but they don't make a T-harness for those yet.
All right, what door speakers fit in the 2011 Ford Explorer Limited with Sony system?
2011 is going to be a 5x7 still.
There you go.
Yeah.
Any radios out there that offers display or audio Bible?
Audio what?
Audio Bible? Audio Bible text from the iPhone?
Oh, yeah. Audible text from the iPhone?
Audible text, I'm sorry.
Audible text from the iPhone. So basically what you're asking for is either A, Sirius free, or B, CarPlay.
CarPlay.
Both of them work about the same. What's up, Dave? Did you figure out your problem? So Sirius free is a feature that comes on pretty much any radio that has Bluetooth. If you press and hold the push to talk button, the little Siri guy goes boop, and you say, read me back my last text message. She goes boop, and she goes, you have a text message from Bob. Bob says, hey, are we going golfing today? And then she'll come, would you like to respond? You say yes, and then she boop sends a message. CarPlay notifies you that you're having a text on the screen by putting a gray bar across the top of the screen that you can reach over and touch while you're driving anywhere along the top of the radio. And she'll come on and say, you have a text from Bob. Bob says, blah, would you like to reply to Bob? And you could say yes. Now, none of them will actually display the physical wording on the screen, but both of them will give you the ability to converse with the radio and have hands-free texting, so to speak.
All right, Brian. Actually, Jason say it shows use a regular harness for a Kia, without or with an amp.
So there you go. Regular harness.
Regular harness. All right, so let's see.
That means there's no data bus in there for them to get involved in.
Mario, it's possible to retain on the VW backup camera. It's RGB.
A VW. Oh, that's the one Ernie asked me about a couple months back. No. Answer to that is no. The RGB cameras are non-retainable right now. No one has a pipe. Okay, no one that I'm aware of, which I try to stay as up to date as possible on this stuff for things like that. No, you actually have to replace that camera. Kind of sucks.
All right, I got a Kenwood KMM-BT318U. How do I get the Bluetooth volume on the calls to go past 15?
So
I'm sure when you have a phone call.
When you have a phone call is when you actually have to adjust the volume for that. So have somebody call you, like girlfriend, friend, or whatever, and try to adjust the volume and or get into the volume settings while you're on the phone.
Now, the other thing is like, I'm guessing he can go past the 15. I'm guessing is the maximum volume on the phone call.
Well, yeah, but that might be a different thing. Just try turning the volume up while you're on the phone. See, because if you're trying to drive and do all this stuff, that's where it gets confusing.
All right. So where's your opinion on the best way to get high-res FLAC files on the stereos?
Well, right now it seems to be there's like a couple ways. One is to go crazy and get into the whole Audison bit HD system with the whole thing there, or go with just the standard USB thumb drive and download, your files from that. It seems to be the only two options that I'm aware of. It's from that like I know Soundman is using the new Sony deck, and he's using the Onkyo app from his iPad to get it to play and all this other craziness. So I mean, Kenwood is trying to come out as the high-res head unit with the 128 or 196 24-bit. Pulling this numbers off the top of my head. I'm sorry. They're trying to, they spent a lot of time just at Knowledge Fest I'm guessing, I think someone said, trying to show people the difference between the two and how it sounds way better. But it's all over thumb drive right now.
Yep. All right. Last one. Matthew.
I have a Pioneer doubled in with 2 camera inputs. Right now I have a backup camera. I would like to add a front camera and possibly side cameras to turn for turns. But I'd like to have the front camera have proximity sensors and have the radio switch to that camera when the proximity and the same with the turning. Okay, so right now, proximity sensor trigger, they don't have a package for that yet. It's not packaged that way. You can buy the, what is the pack audio piece? The VM41, VC41?
VC41. Yes, the 41. Yeah.
The VC41. Yeah. And what that does is that turns any input into a 4-channel input. And it has triggers, so you can hook it up to the turn signal. So, like, you can have this one come on when you turn on the left turn signal, and that one come on when you turn on the right turn signal, which was just backwards. But it really, and it has a switch for the front camera input to toggle the front camera on. Pioneer doesn't have any form of input other than pressing the screen for your front camera to activate. So, in order for you to have that, you'd have to like connect some form of an area sensor to it. So it would be something you'd have to cobble together. There's no like pieces yet for that. I'm sure there's going to be something coming out, but right now there isn't any pieces for it. I don't know why. I know my wife's car has a front-facing camera from the factory, and it won't turn on unless you're going under 10 miles an hour. So I'm thinking there's some legality involved in all this. That's why not everyone is jumping at the opportunity to build this piece.
All right.
But you could probably take like a front sensor and make something to trigger that.
Definitely.
Okay. What else you got?
All right,
anything?
Yeah.
We're good?
Let's
what
go.
was that last one? What was
Casey upgraded the 4200 to the 9904S. He say, wow, so much faster. The capacitive is better.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Better.
There's a testimony right there for you. What is that box model? What box model? What are we talking about?
The box for the cameras.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
see if I can find it.
It's either VC or VM41. VS. There we go. Totally wrong. VS41 from Pack Audio. That's the model number for that cool box right there. And with that, we're going to call it a night, guys. Thanks as usual for watching. Dean Fernando's Tool Drawer, Patreon if you want. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you Saturday on the live show. Otherwise, enjoy this week. We have Car Audio Diaries all this week, so except for tomorrow, which will be rebroadcast of this. See you guys. Bye.